Good morning, everybody. It's time to discover crypto. It is September 18th. It's 11:32 a.m. How are we all doing today? We're going to talk about inflation. We're going to talk about Chainlink. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Solana. We're going to talk about hot wallet hacks. Is that what's going on? What is happening to everybody? And once again, we got Drew and AJ on the ones and twos.
What's up, man? How was your weekend, DZ?
My weekend was pretty good. I got heartburn for the first time ever.
Weird.
I've never had it. I think it's because I'm lactose intolerant. I think maybe I don't have enough acid in my stomach. But yeah, first time ever had it. Guys, that thing is tough. It's no joke. We didn't have any Tums. Never experienced it myself. It was from a chili oil and a rare ramen bowl. One of those, those like for real Asian ones.
Okay.
It's like a little pack. Messed me up.
Yeah. Damn.
But you know what? It just gave me time to sit, be calm, and investigate some more crypto. And I bought more crypto. I bought more crypto in the past 24 hours. I might even share what it is. And I shaved the head.
0.7 Chainlink or one whole Chainlink? How far are we going down the rabbit hole?
It wasn't Chainlink because I bought Chainlink live.
Ooh.
And so it's a new coin, everybody.
Ooh.
Hey, AJ, your tweet convinced me to buy Algo. Okay.
I've heard that a couple times throughout, couple times I've heard that.
Look at the hair. It's actually getting closer to flock of seagulls.
It is getting close to flock of seagulls in a good way, though, in a good way. And CCC says the best. It's because we're getting old. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what this is, babe. I don't know. Maybe it's heartburn, but I've never had heartburn. She's like, yeah, you're getting old.
I got torn apart by heartburn this weekend. So,
what was your food? Mine was chili oil. What was yours?
It was spaghetti with bison, homemade spaghetti, bison spaghetti.
That's a Drew meal if I've ever heard it. All right, you know what I'm ready to eat? I'm ready to bite into some crypto prices right now. I want to bite off some more of that Bitcoin, everybody. Looks like the crypto market caps are pumping, baby. We are up 2.1%. We are now at $1.1 trillion, 24-hour volume. I'm surprised it's even this low. It's $37 billion. We have Bitcoin dominance coming in at 47.5, and gas really low at 23 gwei. Heartburn when you can't get it calm is, man. It was, I was laying, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just laying down, probably making it worse the whole time. All right, we have Bitcoin moving up, everybody. It is up 2.7%. I just refreshed, but I want to do it again. 2.9%. We have ETH pumping almost up to 2% here. BNB up 1.5%. Lido staked Ether up also 1.9%. Solana, baby. Solana is up 5%. Cardano.
Toncoin on the weekly up 48.9%.
Toncoin up 50% on the weekly. That's Telegram's coin. Skyrocketed to the top 10. No one knows where it came from. You can see it right there, just whew. And then it's actually been kind of low ever since then. Who would have known that was good accumulation zone?
Crazy.
Maybe a lot of people knew.
Crazy. We just put a video on Toncoin out yesterday. Really interesting coin to look into. Definitely check out that video if you haven't yet. And to Rolf, I cannot pronounce your name in the chat there. Guys, you know where I can get AJ's full predictions? If you go to the playlist, there's a whole playlist of all of them in order of when they came out. So,
all right, so if you go to the YouTube channel right here, you click playlists, then you'll scroll created, caffeinated, price prediction department right there.
There it is.
Okay, that's where it'd be. That's where it would be.
Everybody. We got Polkadot price predictions coming out today. Normally they come out Sunday. Last week things were really hectic, so the price prediction for Polkadot is today, and then it'll be Sunday from here on out.
All right. So is everybody ready to hit that like button? Because I heard if you hit the like button, you increase the odds that your coins are going to pop up on the top gainers of the top 100 coins of the past 24 hours. So go ahead and hit that like button. I'm going to give you 3 seconds as I take a sip of water. They didn't hit the like button yet.
Oh,
okay,
man.
well, they just hit it. Relief is washing over me in an awesome wave. All right, in the number one gainer for the day, it is eCash, everybody. eCash is up 15%, skyrocketing up to the 72 ranked here. But check how many zeros there are. I don't like coins when they have that many zeros. What about you, AJ?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I like, if it's like, 009, all right. But once we get like past that third or fourth zero, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I can't do this. It's hard math. Like 3,000th of a penny.
You miss out on a 10x. Was it a 10x? Did it reduce by 90%? Like by adding zeros? Is it subtracting? I'm picturing Drew in a tree, knife in mouth, about to jump down on the bison. Camouflage, black paint under his eyes.
Dude.
Bandana, American bandana trailing in the sky as he falls down with knives in hand. You can picture it, right?
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I got jacked up by an entire hornet's nest. I cut down a tree and then I got in the tree to push it the way I wanted it to go and found a hornet's nest. And my entire body is full of hornet poison right now. So,
Dude,
Is that why it was so swollen this morning?
that's why I'm so
What?
swollen.
At the urinal.
are
I
you
wasn't
all-
looking like it on purpose.
are you okay, dude?
I'm great. I'm doing just fine.
He seems, yeah, he's doing good. He's covered head to toe in calamine, but
Yeah.
he's good.
Everyone, smash the like button for Drew for being here. If I got stung by an entire hornet's nest, believe that I would be at home watching like Harry Potter or something. I wouldn't be here. I tell you that.
Did you eat the insects? All right. So we have eCash coming in as the top gainer, 15.7. But number 2 is the coin that DZ bought live on air. It was Chainlink, everybody. We are up 9.4% on the news, although there's a lot of whale activity. I think there's 350 million volume just from the whales, 420 million 24-hour volume there. Stacks is up 7.1%. Toncoin, part of the reason you see it up 50%, it is up 6.5% today. Caspa up 6%. Solana up 5%. Coins are moving today, and they're moving strong. Litecoin up 4.5%. Bitcoin Cash up 4%. Any of these coins, anything popping out, Bitcoin is, you never see Bitcoin, even this high of the top gainer. So ApeCoin? What's going on? It's a reverse DZ indicator today. But we still got to look at the losers. And I haven't checked. I promise you I haven't checked. I don't know if any of my coins are going to be in there. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it's like 0.2 and then everything else is up to the upside. No. Oh my God, dude. Hi. Man. Can you do the show? I don't even want to do the show anymore. All right. Guys, I promise you I didn't look. I don't know why Rollbits.
Very sad. Very
It's the
sad
gift
day.
that keeps on giving. Right?
Very sad.
All right, Rollbit's down, top coins down. I did take some profit like 2 months ago, and then I've just been riding on this emotional roller coaster ever since. We have IOTA, and then we go into the low areas. Then it's 1.3, 1.2% below Axie Infinity. I'm just looking for another one of my coins, but no, it's just the second biggest loser of the day. But then, very shortly after that, we are in the green. So 3, 6, 8 coins, and then we're flat. And one of the 8 is a stable coin. So pretty much markets are flat. Really not too much has fallen, except for, one of DZ's coins, of course. DZ cut his hair. Yeah, it's more aerodynamic when I trade. We need an inverse DZ fund. Okay,
Interesting.
You little son of a gun.
It's a great idea. It's great. I'm kidding.
Well, what, the hair thing?
No, the inverse DZ
Oh,
fund.
the inverse DZ
No,
fund. Okay,
yeah, no.
okay.
It looks
All
good. The
right.
hair looks good.
Like inverse your hair. AJ is like continuing to grow out into a flock of seagulls, like true on thing, and then DC's going Jason
A
Statham.
flock of seagulls? How did we get here?
But then Jason Statham at the beginning of his action movie is where DZ's at right now.
Interesting.
All right, so if you don't know the Flock of Seagulls reference, for those at home, we're talking about Mike Score is his name. And look at that epic do. Now you still got a ways to go.
What?
You got a ways to go. We're not saying
I'm
it looks like
insulted.
that.
I'm offended. Trigger warning.
What?
Very sad.
This guy ruled the 80s.
This guy ruled. Well, I was born in the 90s, so it's all good.
All right, hit the
It's all
like button
good.
if you're born in the 80s. The
Mr.
best decade to be born in, I say. Let's see. All right, Hong Kong Bitcoin hit market at 32. Okay. Why although all news negative together. We're going to get into that. All right. Well, part of it is an inflation narrative. We're going to talk about inflation here. Major central banks are on the brink of peak rates, but the inflation battle might not be over. Here we have does anyone just screams WEF plant right there? No, this is the president of the European Central Bank, though. Just has that look, has that globalist look right there. Maybe it's the collar. I don't know. It's dystopian future regime wear right there. Yeah, it's like
very
North Korean-esque.
Clockwork Orange-ish, in my opinion.
Yeah, something weird going on there with the clothing. The central banks of some of the world's biggest economies are now widely considered to have reached or be at the brink of reaching the highest level that they will take the interest rates, following a long deliberation over its updated forecast for inflation and growth and what they should mean for monetary policy. The European Central Bank hiked its key rate to a record high of 4%. While its accompanying statement by no means rolled out further rates completely, it said rates were at levels that, if maintained for a sufficiently long duration, will make a substantial contribution to the timely return of inflation to the target. But the forecast for 2025, one of the most closely watched metrics, which nudged down from 2.2% to 2.1%. So we have looks like economists, hey, maybe we've reached that peak, that zenith, and now we don't have to have more pain, because people weren't so much expecting pain at least in America, at the next Fed rate hike. It was the one after that. I think it was close to a coin toss. So maybe now coming in a little lower. Dan's Lacole, I will start giving references to the joke providers. I don't even remember what the one was. What was it? So maybe so. Just scroll up if you want to see it. Okay. DZ's dome looks like a freshly painted chia pet. All right. Thank you, Wilma Fingerdew.
Wow. Very good.
Give 1 point there. All right. Let's talk about Canada's inflation. What's happening at the grocery stores. I can make a joke about maple syrup. We're not going to make a joke about maple syrup. Canada warns grocery stores to stabilize prices or face consequences. So the government is going after these grocery CEOs saying, well, you better do something about these prices. Canadian administration is issuing a stern warning to grocery stores, cautioning them about the potential repercussions and the punishment they'll receive if they do not take steps to stabilize food prices and offer relief to Canadians by the 9th. So they have less than a month to comply with the regime's orders, with Trudeau's orders. During an address at the Liberal Nations Caucus retreat in London, Ontario, Prime Minister Trudeau stated his anticipation of receiving a response from the largest chains by Thanksgiving regarding their plans to address price stabilization. He emphasized that if their plan fails to provide tangible relief to those striving, the government is prepared to take further actions, including potential tax measures. You know what? You charge too much for that 2-liter Coke. You're getting taxed. You're getting hit with the fine. Oh, the turkey costs that much. You're getting taxed. We're taking your money and we're stealing from you, and we're giving to the state to give to our NGOs and to our chosen recipients here. While Premier Trudeau did not specify the nature of the tax measures, he reiterated that there would be consequences if they fail to engage constructively in finding a substantial solution to the issue at hand. All right, so we're going after what's Publix, right?
Yeah.
For selling that turkey at $4 a pound when last year it was $3 a pound. What if their price is just reflected of what they have to pay? Do we go after the turkey makers? Do we go after the corn farmers? Do we go after, Ukrainian grain? Where do we draw the line at where we say, hey, it's your fault? Ultimately, I think once you go down that logical procession, you end up at the government printed trillions of dollars out of thin air. And that is the real reason for inflation. So are their heads going to roll? Are they going to have measures taken against them? No, they're not. So what is really happening here? It's they're pointing the finger. So dumb people will say, you know what? I'm feeling a lot of pain. But Trudeau says it's the cashier's fault at the grocery store.
Right.
And I'm joking when I say cashier, but where do you think their frustration is going to manifest?
Right.
Are they writing, very succinct letters to the CEO? Are they joining in on the quarterly earnings call and saying, hey, here's what I feel about vegetable oil? No, they're going to moan and gripe at the person just trying to bag their baguette. And that's ultimately, that's really not going to end up solving anything here.
I mean, also, we talked about this, I think last week, we talked about some of the issues going on in Canada, and a lot of people in the chat, I know Scotty in the chat there's from Canada, and there's a lot of Canadians in the chat that have voiced their frustrations about everything that's going on there. And the thing to me is just like, everyone's obviously who lives in Canada is very frustrated with the government. That is crystal clear to me. And for like Trudeau and them to do this is kind of like, blame the grocery stores for the financial problems. Like, do you know who's like, they're trying to defer the blame away from themselves. Like, instead of, getting mad at Food Lion or whatever, how about raise the minimum wage? How about like have more programs in place to help people like be able to eat? Like, we're in 2023 and, Canada is supposed to be like a nice country. I know it's a beautiful country. I just have never really spent time there other than a couple of visits. But my point here is that like, they're just trying to get the blame away from themselves. And it just makes them look weak, in my opinion, because if your biggest problem is going after the grocery store, I kind of think there could be something wrong with your administration.
Yeah. And, people are saying, well, grocery stores will price gouge. I don't know about publicly traded. They have pretty low margins. I'm looking up Kroger right here just to double check my own. They have things called loss leaders, meaning grocery stores sometimes sell things at a loss, meaning it costs them $4. They'll charge you $3.79, losing 21 cents. So grocery stores aren't these, luxury watchmakers, Italian supercars, healthcare. There's other things where there is real price manipulation and price gouging. I don't think grocery stores are the boogeyman we need to be looking at here. I just pulled up Kroger's finances here. Profit to earnings ratio 13.38, dividend of 2.49%. Really nothing too crazy there. I need to find a better detailed price thing. But if you look at the 5-year chart, you know what? Let's just go to max. I mean, it's really not that insane when you look at the 5-year. So 2020, we had the COVID crash. 2021, I mean, okay, yeah, sure, it was $32. It's $46 right now. A lot of that is just going to be due to inflation. Yeah, these are the giant profit makers, price gougers compared to other industries. Now, I'm not saying they're not price gouging on Mr. Beastables or, maybe I'm sure there's some high markup items there. But traditionally speaking, grocery stores aren't the person when you think of price gouging.
I mean, even in America, the whole thing with eggs recently and milk prices, it has gone like pretty ridiculous, especially if you like want to buy like organic milk. I know like 1 gallon of organic milk is like $8-9. Like what? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I had to talk to some farmers, any farmers in the chat. But, when poultry skyrocketed, eggs skyrocketed, beef skyrocketed, their feed skyrocketed as well. And the fertilizer, for their plants or for the yield to increase the yield is skyrocketed. So it's a trickle-down inflation effect here. Yeah. Fix inflation, then you fix prices. I like that, Andrew Tuttle. Manipulation to DZ's hairline is real. Boo! All right, JT. Let's give JT the points there. Let's see. They're worth $33 billion, and they hassle me about donating $1 every time I go.
Facts.
Oh, right.
Facts.
Ooh, shots fired at Kroger's right there. All right. Well, another inflation story here is inflation. Part of the reason we see Bitcoin pumping up. Bitcoin touches 27,300 as Chainlink leads the crypto bounce. It's back above for the first time since the 31st, while Chainlink is leading the top 20 by market cap. Elsewhere, ETH has hit highs above 1670 as mega caps gain ahead of likely pivotal week for sentiment across risk markets here. While the price may reject at the immediate resistance and fail to consolidate above the 200-week moving average, the opposite outlook is a decisive breakout that turns the hurdle into a support. Talking about that 200, that red line that everyone's talking about. It would be the upside perspective would be crucial after Bitcoin signaled the death cross on the daily chart and saw a bearish monthly close below 27K. If it moves higher, a rally to 28,200 could open it up for the retest of the psychological 30. On the downside, rejection would mean a retest of 25K before rebounding. 28, some of those June, July 2021 levels, back when everyone thought it was over. But also we have some Chainlink. Chainlink's pumping, been the biggest gainer so far, jumping nearly double digits as intraday price reached highs of $6.81 across major crypto exchanges. Try to tell you guys to buy in the $5 range. If you copy traded me, don't do what DZ does and never take profit. Actually, I don't know how to tell. All right, so my Chainlink story is, I bought a bunch to sold at 4. I told people to take profit too early. I don't know if I should tell you to take profit if you're up. I mean, if you're up 10% on a day, I feel like you should take some profit if you have a lot of money in there. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Chainlink, I am a long-term believer on it. So
yeah, and that's the thing, especially when you buy coins low at these prices here. Like say you buy something, just easy math, you buy it at $10 a coin, right? And then it goes to $13 a coin. A lot of people times people will message me and they'll be like, hey, like this pumped 30%, like should I take profits? And my answer to this question is always, well, you always should have a plan before you go into the trade. Is this a long-term trade? Are you trying to, hold this and sell it at the top of the bull run? Or are you trying to, make that 20 or 30%? And that really like defining your goals and figuring out what you want out of the trade before you click go is always the best way to go about it.
All right. DZ, where's the video of your cold plunge? Faux Hammer Digital. I have quart containers that for ice, and it didn't freeze from Saturday to Sunday. So I usually would fill them all up on Sunday. I was so cold, and I just wasn't about setting up my station for next week. I was just worried about drying off and warming up. So my station wasn't ready. I might do it during the week. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, my cubes weren't frozen, man. All right, let's see. Ready to talk about some charts here with the one and only Anthony Jeselnik, super fan, AJ.
I did see Anthony Jeselnik on Friday. Absolutely. I can't repeat any single thing he said, but I assure that his new set is very funny. I'm excited for his new special. I guess the first thing I want to look at on the charts here today, Drew, if you go to my chart, this is the DXY. And Drew and I talked about this today, how it has 9 consecutive weekly green candles in a row. This is the power of the dollar. generally when the dollar goes up, the markets go down. It has had like big streaks like this before. Back here in February 22, I believe had 11 or 12 candle streak there, another 9 streak right here before it topped off. But now, you know, the dollar is kind of pushing back up, bouncing even off of a lower low, bounced off the EMA there and is headed up. So generally speaking, you know, this is bad for the markets. And if we look at the ES1 exclamation point, the E-mini futures, this is the stock market. It's actually in a really weird spot because, you know, the dollar is going up. And this is, you know, it broke out here beginning of 2023 up the hill here. And now, as you can see here with a 15 -5 on the dual band strength index on Market Cipher, that number right there, this is getting rejected and from a lower high. And this is the stock market like kind of suffering from, you know, is what happening with the dollar. We even got a red dot. We're about to fight the 50 line. Like this is the daily chart. And this looks like this is coming down to me very cut and dry, probably going to retest the EMA or even this trend line. Let's kind of hope for the stock market's sake that it kind of bounces before this here and puts in a higher low. But the funny thing is that, you know, so the dollar's going up, the stock market's going down, but Bitcoin is fighting. Crypto kind of has a mind of its own right now. If I was to just look at the dollar and just look at the stock market based off those charts, I would think that crypto would be going down. Not always the case. There is correlation, but that is not causation, as many of you know. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. And, you know, like, you know, Gareth Soloway pointed out last time on the show, is that, you know, Bitcoin turned around right here. This is a higher low coming off, even though, you know, it put in a higher high here. So structurally speaking, you know, we lost that big trend line that we had. 1 second. Like we had this trend line going on here. I have my paintbrush on, you know, right here. We lost this, unfortunately. This was bad. But just because we lost that trend line isn't the end of the world as long as we can put in a higher low. And we held this really important support resistance line, you know, right around, you know, 24,600, 24,700, that range right there. And, you know, on the daily chart, this is looking pretty good in terms of, you know, where Bitcoin could go. Looking at targets here, just off, you know, some indicators, we broke the 50 on the RSI, very bullish, kind of leaving the red. A bullish divergence played out right here. Anchor wave, trigger wave, playing up perfectly. You know, this looks like it was about to do a bear cross, and I'm actually interested to see if Bitcoin gets rejected here. Is this a bull trap, considering what's happening with the dollar, what's happening with the stock market? That is an idea that's in my mind, but I kind of want Bitcoin to play out before I officially say that. But it is super overheated on the RSI on the 2 hour. But to go back to some targets, you know, if Bitcoin can really keep moving here, there are some good order blocks up here, you know, 29,000, maybe 30,000. But first we have to get over the previous high, 28,200. And really fast, I wanted to take a quick look at Chainlink. I know we were talking about Chainlink. This is the 12-hour chart from Chainlink. Let me get rid of this thing right here. So I mentioned this last on the live stream that there is a bullish divergence playing out on Chainlink right down here. We've got an anchor wave, trigger wave, these two down there. And with, you know, a lower low coming in on the price action, with a higher low coming in on Market Cipher B and the RSI as well. And this has played out quite well. And to be honest with you, it's interesting because there are bullish order blocks up here at the, you know, almost $8 level, 783 at that order block from the last high there. And if we were to get up to that order block, I mean, that's another 15% gain and a 25% gain if we were to put in a better high. And like structurally speaking, this is great. You know, we're starting a new trend line here. And even if it turns around, gets rejected, let's hope that it bounces off of this trend line and continues up the hill. So there you go. I'm feeling more bullish, but I'm still like a little weary of the bull trap idea as well.
Yeah, especially you could almost see like a head and shoulder, you know, if that right side were to come down a little bit further. I don't know, just to see.
Are you saying like this?
On the right side? No, just right there. Just right there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
And all that was just a long segue. So I could say, someone said, AJ, what hair product do you use? No offense, DZ. Speaking of head and shoulders.
I'll have to look it up. My girlfriend bought it for me. I just throw it in and I'll look it up for you. I forget.
Okay. I'm actually I'm gross. I haven't washed my hair. I'm trying the homeless man theory. Drew, are you familiar with the homeless man theory?
Well, where you just leave
When it
your
comes
oils
to
in your
homeless
hair?
men and being bald.
Oh yeah, where they leave the
So-
oil in their hair for long. Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's that. There's many shampoos are under class action lawsuits for making people bald. And ask yourself, have you ever seen a bald homeless person? Maybe. Very, very infrequent. Meanwhile, you look around, you see dudes in their 20s who are bald, but you don't really see bald homeless people. Is it because, hey, they're just like all natural, just like cavemen did it. Maybe that's the way.
I mean,
so
there might
I'm
be
going
some
on like,
to it.
it'll be 4 weeks and 2 days. I've yet to wash my hair.
Okay.
Drew, if you want to go
Gross,
to
I
my
know.
screen really fast, this is the company Suava Viquito. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but they have a number of different products here. It's the Firm Strong Hold Pomade.
Is that me
that's the
looking
one.
down?
Oh, nope.
Tell
Do
me
you
that
see
didn't
all
look
this?
like me.
Until
Tell me
the
that
hair.
didn't look. Now
Wait,
go up a little
until-
bit. Tell me that didn't look like me. Right there. That
I see it.
little
And then
bit.
you keep
The black
scrolling, and then
tea.
you realize it's definitely
I
not.
mean, I
you.
definitely was like, why do you have these weird photos of me? I was a little creeped out at first.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's talk about the Bitcoin bulls here. Are you a Bitcoin bull? What hair product does Deezy use? Skin guard clippers. That's what I use. All right. Bitcoin could reach $100K to $1 million in 2025. Expert analysis. I don't think the second number, and I'm actually coming in under the first number there, but hey, some are feel a little bit more bullish than I am. Well, started this week on a bullish note, much like the majority of assets in the crypto market. Experts predict more gains to come, and some are confident that the maiden digital asset will surpass $100K in the next couple years. That's what DZ looks like with hair. Okay, that's funny. As it happens, analyst Plan B, aka 1 trillion USD, reiterated the prognosis from earlier this year, arguing that Bitcoin's halving event could trigger its move above 32K, with the 2025 bull market culminating at 100K and beyond in an X post published on the 18th. We're looking at his chart Thursday or Friday, actually,
Yeah.
checking out the dots, seeing where the dots are going to be. Will we hit 100K? I'm still saying 95-ish. Therefore, the analyst believes that the 2024 halving will bring the largest crypto asset into a price range between 23 and 66, whereas the subsequent bull market could trigger the run towards a range between 100K and as much as $1 million per unit.
That's a big range.
That's a big range.
It's a
I mean, we're
big
looking at a
range.
factor of 10 there. So
If I went on, sorry for cutting you off, but if I went on a price prediction video and I was like, my price prediction for Chainlink is, $98 to 10,000, that's not really doing anyone any favors. And that's kind of like the same thinking about, honestly, my Bitcoin price prediction, I believe, was 90 to 120,000. I see what you're saying, that like the psychological 100 like might not get hit, but I know that if we got past it, it would go crazy, like everything else. I mean,
okay, all right. There's no homeless people in my country, but I can imagine seeing it on TV. Rusty Bot, where do you live? Where do you live? Antarctica?
yeah,
Cold
there's
place?
just no
maybe?
people in your country.
Would anyone choose to be homeless in Canada? You just walk south, right?
Oh no!
I can see
way.
a very, very low amounts in Canada as well. I guess maybe the fentanyl addicts who just haven't walked down south yet. There was something else I was looking at. Low T equals bald. It's high T. It's high T lifestyle. Okay, it's the high T lifestyle.
Top G, high T.
Hair loss is scared of Chuck Norris. All right. Well, speaking of men influencers, let's talk about Jordan Peterson.
Nice.
AJ, have you read any of his books?
The 12 rules for success or 12 rules for
12
life.
rules for something. I read that.
I read it like
skimmed
5
it.
years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Drew, what about you?
I just follow his podcast, and I've liked him for years. So it's good to see.
He's picking up. He was really out of it after his coma.
Yeah.
With
Mm.
his self-induced coma, but he
Yeah.
seemed like he's got those neurons firing again.
I saw
All right.
him. I saw him speak in Philadelphia a little over a year ago. Great time.
Singapore.
Wait, Singapore? What?
No homeless people. Singapore.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, he's really awesome to see in person. It was crazy how many people were there. He had like a lot of like crowd interactions, just his overall like message. Like I have nothing but respect for Jordan Peterson. I know he's really controversial, kind of polarizing figure, but I got nothing but respect for him.
Yeah, he's like for free speech and men to clean your room. Maybe it's Finland. I don't know. We don't know. All right. Well, he's suggesting it's time to scrap the banks and use Bitcoin, everybody. He's a best-selling author, a well-known psychologist with over 4.6 million followers on X, and he sparked a debate about the unbanking movement and Bitcoin being a tool to scrap the banks. Notably, his response was in response to Australian news regarding Macquarie Bank's branches moving to scrap cash, check, and phone payment services. Maybe it's time to scrap banks. Could Bitcoin fix this? No, we definitely don't want to get rid of all cash. Now, Australia is not the only country looking to scrap or in the use of physical cash. In most European countries, the use of cash is already limited to smaller transactions, and Nigerian banks also have low cash withdrawal limits on their ATMs. Answering Peterson's question, many renowned advocates commented in support of the cause, like the host of What is Money, Robert Breedlove. Banks impart counterparty risk to the act of using money. Bitcoin in self-custody is money absent counterparty risk. So yes, Bitcoin fixes this. However, the debate also brought critics. Aaron Day, presidential candidate for the U.S. No, it couldn't. Traditional banking system can do 50,000 to 100,000 transactions per second. CBDC pilot in the U.S. can do 1.7 million transactions per second. Bitcoin can do 7 transactions per second. You need to do some research before you spout BTC. Yeah, BTC would not be able to implement it as a total replacement for the American economy in a year. But maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe even 2 years, I would say. Not many homeless in North Dakota. If I were to just wake up and I'm on the streets, I would just I would buy a Costco membership as soon as I could, and then buy things in bulk and sell them individually. Then I would buy waters. I would buy the 24, 30 pack of water for $5, sell them for $1 a piece. I will flip that up to a smartphone. From that smartphone, then I would start trying to make money on the internet. Probably wouldn't be super hard. It'd be difficult. It would be difficult.
It's also okay. You kind of have to take into account like the mental stuff going on, and like it's not just as easy as like sell a water. That's like from a logical standpoint, but a lot of times when people that ends up happening to them, it's like always because of like not just one thing, but like several series of unfortunate events. By Lemony Snicket, that book, that's what happened to them.
Yeah, you got to have strong mental fortitude.
Exactly,
that's for sure.
Exactly.
If they have weak, it's going to increase the odds that they are going to be homeless. Hey, AJ, super chat from BG, the baby gangster. DZ has recommended Dookie861 reached out on X, so maybe you reached out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't checked my DMs in a couple of days, so it's should probably go through them.
All right, you log out on the weekends. Me too. All right, let's talk about this Binance lawsuit. SEC versus Binance. Judge grants SEC's motion to unseal key document in the Binance lawsuit. The judge approvals follows accusations that Binance US exhibited a lack of transparency in the SEC investigation. So the motion to unseal was approved by the district judge. The information was previously filed under seal by the regulator in August, limiting access only to the attorneys involved in the lawsuit. However, the SEC wants a lot of this to be public, and it looks like they moved to make them public on Thursday. Parties involved have agreed to unseal many documents. The approval comes after they accused Binance of a lack of transparency, and the company saw several recent executive departures. CZ acknowledged the recent departure of the U.S. CEO on Friday, and he said, hey, he just deserved a break after his accomplishments, and that the chief legal officer was the right person to lead it moving forward. SEC sued Binance in U.S. in June, accusing them of violating securities laws across 13 charges. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up playing out. The deal between U.S. and SEC, Binance U.S. and the SEC, was struck not long after that prevented a freeze in exchange for greater transparency and oversight. Stipulation included that Zhao or any other entities he owns or controls don't have access to the funds. And one of the court filings, the regulator accused Binance U.S. holding company BAM of only producing 220 documents related to the investigation. That included unintelligible screenshots, which fell short of assuring customer assets are not of the mercy of either Binance or CZ. Also, we have with the SEC news here, Dubai-based JPEX winds down operations and is blaming the partners, announced the end of its earn program and halted withdrawals and all but name. There's a Dubai-based exchange and shuttered operations overnight due to a sudden liquidity crisis. The APY of the earn program was as high as 30% of certain cryptos and will be shut down. All new orders have been disabled and existing ones will be carried out to term. According to members of the community, the booth at Singapore was abandoned shortly after the notice. The user also noticed a striking similarity between the exchange's logo and that of another famous platform. Looks a lot like FTX's. They were saying there. So, yeah, that was kind of a funny story, seeing that they just abandoned the booth. Not a good look, I guess.
That's a bummer.
Not a good look for.
No.
All right, maybe it was a bathroom break. No, I think they abandoned it, though. Although the earn program will be shut down for good, the spot trading is still up. Withdrawals are also still possible. However, nobody in the right mind would withdraw funds from the platform, since withdrawals currently boast a 99% fee. Woo! Spokesperson for the platform have denied any wrongdoing. Said they blame their troubles on unfair treatment by probably the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and malice on the part of their partners, who froze the liquidity shortly after the warning was issued. Okay, so hopefully people didn't have too many funds on there. If so, not your keys, not your cheese. You got to be careful out there, folks. What is the name of the back pain video? If you type in powerful posture and pain relief, you will find it. It's by Dr. something or other. It isn't called that, though. So, AJ, do you have any back problems?
No, sir. No, sir.
Really? All the motorcycle stuff?
Sometimes I'm like sore in the morning, but I stretch out. My girlfriend makes me do yoga with her sometimes, and I kind of feel like that's helped me out. There was a couple months ago, I crashed pretty hard at a race, and it was sore for a month or two, but slowly but surely it got better. But I feel good.
Anybody has back pain, you want to fix your life, you want to change your life, you want to have the best life possible moving forward, you want to have tears streaming down your eyes because you never thought this amount of mobility was possible. Just do this video every single day. No back pain ever. Of course, there's going to be certain examples where people will still have back pain, but me, I was bedridden. I couldn't walk. I was really dire straits, and it's fixed my life. So if I can just change one person's life, I'll feel good about that. All right, now DEX volume drop. We also got some other decentralized exchanges. DEX trade volumes plunged 37% since May. September volumes could be even lower. You know what, though? I haven't been on Uniswap swapping lately. I think I've done one Uniswap trade in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been doing some trades on Apex. It's like a decentralized perpetuals.
I have some Apex. I need to look into it.
The thing is that they don't have that many coins, but they still, have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, like the big hitters. And if you're going to do like some higher leverage trades, there is plenty of liquidity on Apex if you're looking for a decentralized option for leverage trading. But I'm not surprised to see this story, though. I kind of feel like the meme coin run is basically over. I know there was one guy I saw on Twitter that turned like $3,000 into like 300,000, still like trading meme coins from like DEX tools. That I got to pull the thread up, but I feel like you can still make money, but there's definitely a lack of liquidity for sure.
Yeah, and it is a casino, and lack of liquidity. Just got to be careful out there, folks. Have very, very tight, trading strategies where you're not going to end up just losing everything on a 1 minute candle for some very illiquid JPEG or not JPEG, but any kind of meme coin. That's just got to be careful out there.
Scary.
All right, let's talk about the Solana thing, and then we might look at the Solana chart with AJ and see if these people are. I don't know, is the sky falling, or is Solana, what is Solana going to do? Well, they're saying there's going to be a Solana sell-off. It says the Solana bottom should take a while to form. This is altcoin Sherpa, and they told their almost 200K followers that Solana is facing key resistance at $19.50. They've been printing bearish lower high setups ever since hitting its 2023 high of $32 in July. Should Solana's latest rally fade, says the $14 level could act as support. However, he warns the prospects of staying above 14, depending on how FTX liquidates its massive trove of 1.1 billion. We looked at that on ATB. We looked at it the morning stream last week. It's not going to be all at once. The last of their Solana will be sold in 2028, 5 years from now. So what are the charts telling us, though?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up 1 second.
Well, I got this. One more thing. They're also sounding the alarm of the large holdings. He did tell the followers that only a tiny amount of Solana trove is liquid. So very, very small amount is liquid. Most of it's not going to be able to be sold. It says he's long-term bullish despite the baggage. I'm starting to get a little long-term bullish. I still have a small bag. I don't know, smallish. Hey, not small at $250, smallish today. I have sold some. I cashed out some roll bit. I put some roll bit into stable. I put some into Solana. I'm right. I don't mind riding a little bit of Solana to the next bull run though.
No, not at all. I think Solana is probably a good pick. I'm showing a fair range volume profile really fast. My visible range one's just acting super weird right now. I just want to see. Yeah,
Well,
so
go ahead.
all right, so here's the charts here. So as you can see, this is like, the big fall down for Solana, and 21 into 22, pretty bearish. Here's the beginning of 23. We popped up right here. And if you look at this really long ongoing trend line from, way back here where this trend line started, this is where we came down, the very end of December. We popped up and we are still respecting this trend line that was created way back, 2020, I believe. And I see their idea here. This is a fixed range volume profile. It's like kind of like a similar visible range, but it's only for the amount of time, like for the range that you fix, if that makes sense. And looking at a couple of things here. So what they're saying is that it's going to come and retest the previous low, which is, right around 1427, below 14 if you go all the way to the wick. This is the 12-hour chart. But, in my opinion, this thing is still looking like it wants to respect that trend line. It bounced off of it right away again. From its current price action to the fixed range point of control would be about a 9% increase. And if you look at the order block up here, sitting all the way up at 25, we got a bullish order block with 24% of the volume in that order block. And if we were to go to current price to that order block, you're looking at like, 26, 27% increase there. But basically what they're saying is that we're going to lose this, multi-year trend line and come and retest the previous low, which is possible depending on how bloody the FTX sell-off gets. If it ends up not being like that big of a deal, I don't know exactly how much they're going to sell off and what effect that would have. But just looking at this chart, it looks pretty good to me. Putting in a higher low, coming out of, looking like it's going to start ending the momentum wave here. It's going to start going into the green. The most important thing to me, as always, breaking the 50 on the RSI on a 12-hour chart is pretty good. I want to look at the daily really fast. And yeah, I mean, this chart is fighting, and it held and respected the trend line. So until it officially breaks through that trend line, I don't feel that bad. I think everybody should look at my chart here and go from all the way down here back in December of 2020 and make sure you're touching these spots here, and then go to this line, set an alarm. And if this alarm goes off and it's breaking down, there's your short. So there you go.
All right, I'm feeling bullish after that. I like that trend line, okay? Pest killers, what happened to the XRP bit? Well, we find ourselves forcing XRP stories when there really wasn't a story. We're like, random lawyers not actually connected to the case has an opinion, and there's an article about it. Hey, let's do a second one. And so don't worry, we'll still cover XRP news, especially as we get closer and closer to the bull run. All right, now let's talk about the hot wallet hacks, though. Burning wallets. We're going to start with Mark Cuban, and we're going to do a friend of the channel. Mark Cuban loses nearly $900,000 on the crypto wallet MetaMask. He believes he installed a counterfeit wallet, potentially exploited by a scammer to pilfer his cryptocurrency. He saw losses of almost $900K. After he became aware, he transferred $2 million worth of USDC to Coinbase. He confirmed that stated, someone got me for 5 ETH. A lot more than that, though. He believed that someone may have been tracking his activity, explaining that he came to use MetaMask for the first time in months. He suspected that he downloaded a counterfeit version. He was reportedly looking up stablecoin provider Circle, then mistakenly downloaded what he thought was MetaMask. He mentioned that the hack took place while he was attempting to clean up his account using his phone. It crashed a couple times. I just stopped. Then you emailed me, so I locked my NFTs on OpenSea, transferred all my Polygon into the account. He clarified that the only account that had any losses, that was the only account that hacked that had any losses, and the other accounts remain unaffected. So you got to be careful out there, folks. So it looks like he wanted to do a transfer, probably had it up on maybe I don't know, maybe did the little QR thing there and downloaded a fake one. So I wouldn't say that's a MetaMask issue. I would say that's a user error issue. Here we have one, still not a lot of details out on, and I want to be respectful because I'm a really, really big fan of this guy, all the content that he makes, the lifestyle that he lives, and just his general vibe on, subsequently. Talking about Jason Casper. Jason Casper, he did a video about this. He had 700,000, I think it was mostly worth of Bitcoin stolen that. He set aside, I think he was going to do another investment with it, maybe real estate. He wasn't 100% clear on that. But yeah, he had 700K stolen. This person is a really, really big fan. I'm not going to, really sad to see him posting the video. Some are saying it's a publicity stunt. I definitely don't think it was any kind of publicity stunt there. Don't be complacent. Jason admits this too. He said himself, he got lax on security and blames no one but himself. I like one take he had, his message for that person, just God bless that individual. There's obviously
I saw that
in a lot of pain, to do that. And it's definitely not a great thing. All right. Now we have guess that. Well, AJ, you had a experience. You want to share anything?
Yeah, I made the video about it, and I can kind of, you have to be really careful. What I did, I mean, really the cross-chain bridge was completely my mistake. I didn't send a test transaction, completely rookie move. I just kind of expect things to just magically work because I used them before in the past. So I think, oh, it's going to work again, but I don't know. I didn't know, there was a rebrand and it stopped working. And then there's that. And then, these things happen. And to be honest, when we always say like, safety first, make sure you do X, Y, and Z, like we really mean that stuff because it like, I'm not going as far to say, MetaMask is compromised or anything like that. But I'm saying that there are, thousands and thousands of people out there that try to get people to fall for these scams. Like every day, downloaded the fake MetaMask, or you get on a Telegram like phone call with somebody, and with that connection, like people don't believe me, but they can wipe you with that connection to your phone. I even talked to police about it that are saying that they're hearing more and more stories like that. So. It's a sketchy world out there, but this is why not your keys, not your crypto, cold storage is the answer, especially for long-term lessons. And, personally, what happened with me was a humbling experience. I didn't have to be public about it, but, I could have just, bottled it up and just pretend it never happened. But that wouldn't be fair, one, to the audience, and two, that, when this thing happens, I want to set an example for how to draw your line in the sand and rebuild. And I want to rebuild together with everybody in the community. So it's a part of the game. It happens, but I believe, like personally speaking, I've started over from zero, so many times that I feel good about doing it again. It's not a big deal. It's just trials and tribulations. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Me too. In my early 20s, but I was like a little shady McShaderson, starting at 0 too. I'm not going to get into the details there. Maybe a basement episode. All right. Now we have Guess That Chart, and it's a tough one, folks. I'm actually not sure here. I mean, you can see it's, relatively speaking, slightly older coin. This is 2017. This is 2021. Did not put in a second all-time high in the second half. At first, just from the chart, not looking at the price, this looks like Litecoin, right? Slightly higher high, and then, kind of depressed. But Litecoin, I think, is like $60.
What's
it's not
the price
Litecoin.
Of it now?
$147. So saying 147. So then I'm like, is that like one of those weird Bitcoin clones that came out? But I don't know if they came out that early in 2017. I thought it was closer to, well, no, they didn't come out in 2016. So this coin came out in 2016. Huge run up. I mean, there's no way it's ETH Classic, because ETH Classic was like $20. So it's too high for ETH Classic. Yes, Shady McShaderson. That's right. Yeah, it does look like a Litecoin. Oh, Monero.
There it is.
Okay, Jen Murphy. Guess. All right, Jen Murphy. 10 points for Jen. Yeah, it's Monero. Monero 2016. That tracks as Monero, isn't it? It's a Monero.
It
Drew.
is. It's Monero.
What are your thoughts on Monero, Drew?
I like it for what it stands for. I don't think it's going to be like insanely profitable. I think it's going to get a new higher high. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to 10x or anything like that in the next bull market, but I could see like a 2 or 3x from its previous all-time high being achieved.
Yeah, Monero's main issue is VCs and just, any kind of crypto company in general will not want to fund coins that the deep state hates. And, the intelligence agencies. I'm not trying to make some big conspiracy here. Intelligence agencies hate privacy coins. They hate it. And so they lean on banks and say, hey, that exchange let you trade Monero. Don't do anything with them. And they're like, well, they're the most compliant, the highest satisfaction. They never rip anyone off. I'm looking at the reserves. They got all the money.
We can't have nice things.
We can't have nice things,
exactly. Hey, real fast, Jimbo the wrestler, where's Nick? ? I need to know what to mine with my old 580 GPU. So
Ask him in
Nick
the
got a
basement.
lot of positive feedback from the little bit he did on mining, and I can personally tell you that Nick is planning on doing a lot more content down that street. So definitely in the future.
You know
we'll be
what?
able to get
I
that
like
for
the
you.
idea of old GPUs and old graphics cards. Okay, we have people
Yeah.
that bought a computer in the last 12 months and they still have that old piece of crap. It's not going to mine Ethereum, but maybe it mines some crap.
Put it to work.
Some doo-doo.
That's absolutely put it to work.
Yep.
That's a good
Raven
idea.
And then just
coin,
swap
baby.
that for Bitcoin.
Yep.
All right. So Monero, the official coin of the Druth.
Basically, well,
All
that's
right.
so true.
Pretty much.
Solid fan base, not going anywhere, but agree it's not going to crazy highs. It just does what it does. The best case for Monero is everybody in the world has a Canada-like regime, trying to stop their money.
The best case scenario.
The best case scenario is Trudeau is the world leader, and then in which case, we all are going to want to use Monero then.
Oh,
Yep.
my God.
All right, it's time for the X minute. X minute. One, I have this. It was whale charts, price predictions. This is so inaccurate and stupidly wrong. I was gonna do a short on this, but it's not even him. It's some dumb article. It's like Kathy Wood said it might go to 1 million by 2030. It might even go to 1.4 million. She revised it by 2030. But then they just ran with her 2024 price prediction. Kathy Wood does not think it's going to 1 million by 2024. Mike Novogratz doesn't seriously think it's going to 500K by 2024. Maybe Tim Drake. No, I don't know about some of them. Kiyosaki, yeah, probably. I mean, some of these though, but a lot of that is just a little bit ridiculous there. I think I have one post to share here. Yeah, so I didn't film it, but guys, don't worry. It's the tank's ready. The ice is frozen. It might still happen. The most nutrient dense foods on the planet, steak is number one. What? Yeah, steak is way up there. So no surprise there. People who looking at U.S. now has record 17 trillion in household debt, 12 trillion in mortgages, 1.6 trillion in auto loans, 1.6 trillion in student loans, 1 trillion in credit card debt. Average house payment about to hit 3K. As oil prices go up, credit cards at a record high. This is unsustainable. I would agree with that. So
I love the Kobolesi letter. I'm glad you show them there. They show a lot of good content.
Okay. Here, this was just for you, Steve-O. He's probably watching right now. So look who's outperforming Cardano in staking. RFK, just a funny joke. I'm not going to repeat it, but RFK has a good sense of humor. So she's a beautiful angel. If you don't know Tim Dillon, famous gay comedian, he's really funny guy. And so yeah, I thought just the fact that he typed that makes me like him a little bit more in a weird way.
He's hilarious.
This Bill Gurley talk was really good, and I highly recommend anyone who cares anything about macro, anything about regulation. I really check that out. I've talked about moats in the past. Like Facebook wants it harder for the next Instagram to be created. They want to create moats. Well, he just talks about regulatory. Basically, regulation is good for the incumbent. And maybe I'm missing a word there. He just keeps regulation is for the incumbent. Regulation is for the incumbent. And he just goes into a really good breakdown on how regulation is just essentially ruining everything. And it's a very good speech. So highly recommend checking out that. And then we have this, what I think about when I'm in my cold plunge. Think about Rome. Think about the Roman Empire right there. And Britain, banning American pit bulls. People have insanely strong opinions on pit bulls.
What?
Yeah.
So, well, I just said, hey, generally speaking, it could just only due to their size and their jaw strength. Generally speaking, they're more dangerous than the average dog.
They're
Generally
murky.
I
speaking.
agree.
Just like generally speaking, a guy who is 6'4" is more dangerous than a guy who is 5'4".
So then what? You're gonna ban
Generally
me?
speaking.
Generally speaking,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And
That's
so, yeah,
completely fair.
there's several coworkers here who just will not accept a pit bull is generally more dangerous.
Well,
it's the owner. It's the owner.
It's one of those things that, like, if only 2% of them, or whatever the number is, let's just like make a scenario where only 2% of something is dangerous, and then they say, well, all of these could hurt, blah blah blah. They kind of make that like really outlier case and say it's for everything. They kind of do that kind of stuff all the time. And so this is a thing where is this, in the UK?
Yeah. So UK is potentially going to ban American pit bulls. Pit bull terriers are already banned in the UK. The addition of the bully XL dog type will be in addition to this. So pit bull terriers already banned in the UK. We love our puppers. I have 2 dogs. I have a German German mix and a Rot mix. They're really, really good dogs. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, they're slightly more dangerous.
Shout out to Meta Spawn, RIP Jelly Bean. Sorry to hear that, man. That's a bummer.
Okay, so
Soon Americans are going to be banned in the UK at this rate, so
maybe
we'll just keep it going.
The percentage of attacks made by the Bully XL in recent times in the UK is ridiculous. Okay, so maybe there's some statistics. I do know an American, and maybe this is false. Is 2020 and 2021 bite statistics for America? Pit bull terriers are 6% of breeds and 65% of deaths.
Wow.
So there's 6% of the total, but there's 65% of the deaths.
So is that like
31%
crime
of the
statistics for the
hospitalizations.
US too?
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
I mean, Kelly Kellum from BitLab Academy said Dalmatians are more dangerous than pit bulls. He's gonna have
Dalmatians are inbred to the point of a very unstable mental. So think about the breeding required to make magical polka dots. There's a lot of inbreeding with Dalmatians, so they're historically a very aggressive and willing to snap dog. There. All right, so Yorkie is more dangerous than my pit. I would say it definitely bites more and is probably more likely to make a little scratch. One is going to end up in a fatality more likely than the other, though. So I think that's kind of what his pit is fluffy. Wasn't intimidating at all. Yeah, Yorkies are vicious.
They are straight up crazy. Dude, it's actually kind of so funny to me how the tiniest, smallest dogs have like the most balls. Like they will just attack like you ever see that happen when they just like charge at it full speed, like fearless?
Chihuahuas
I love that.
Lazarus Head has it right. Ban men 6'4". Yeah.
I'm
They are
alive.
inherently more dangerous. All right, guys, it's more dangerous than any of that, not hitting the like button. So please go ahead and hit it. We're at 12:29. We're right at an hour. This has been a wonderful episode. Thank you for joining. AJ, any final? Drew, any final?
What you got, AJ?
Yeah, I'm just having a good day. Got a lot going on. I have a phone call with John Woods from Algorand right after this. Excited to catch up with him. John and I talk, every month, every 2 weeks, something like that, just to kind of touch base. Excited to have that conversation. Last night, I saw my favorite band at the Masquerade in Atlanta, the Wonder Years, pop punk band from Philadelphia. Best time ever. I feel like I took like a spiritual shower and I'm a new human. And I'm just excited to get this week going. Feeling creative.
We have a wife who's a dog groomer. Poodle mixes are the worst. French Mastiffs, stronger bite. All right, you poodles. I'm across the street when I see you coming towards me. All right, that's all we got. We go ahead and hit that like button. Basement at 2 p.m.
That's
ATB
right.
at 5. We'll be all there. All right, see you there.
All righty. Later.
Do a Naruto run.